What's up, everybody? I'm Dan and welcome back to Backpacking Adventures. I'm back out again. This time I am on the Old Loggers Path. This is a roughly 27, 28, somewhere around there loop located in the Loyalsock State Forest, which pretty close to the Loyalsock Trail. So very similar terrain to that. So let's get this thing started. One correction already, I'm going counterclockwise, not clockwise. Which it's a loop, so it doesn't really matter. And I think clockwise is only a little bit easier, but this is I think my third time doing this trail, so I've already done it each way. So change it up. So it's been about 2 months since I've been out on trail. I still have 2 trips that I have videos for that are going to be coming out. However, I'm going to put this one before it. Right now it's mid-August. I'm going to put this before those two because I've been off trail for 2 months taking care of my wife. So for those of you that have been following along, she had cancer and she had surgery early July. So it's been a very long recovery for her, a very major surgery, and then complications afterwards. So I'm finally able to get out. So this is going to be an update. She's doing very well. She's going to be getting back to work soon, and she's getting stronger and stronger every day. But man, boy, did it really! It was a doozy of a surgery, that's for sure. But the prognosis is good. They don't expect it to come back, so very good. Just came across a water source. I'm not even probably a mile in, but anyway. There's been a drought in Pennsylvania for, I don't know, a month and a half. And we've had like little to no rain. And that's one thing I'm worried about for this trip is the availability of water. It is kind of sketchy going throughout from my research. But here was a water source. So what I did was I just chugged because I was driving for hours and hours. So I chugged a liter, filled up, and I'm going to carry 2 liters, I think. Actually, I have like 2 1/4 liters because I have a small water bottle that I also filled up, just to kind of get an idea of what the water situation is. One thing that is kind of unique about this trail too is, well, it's orange blaze first of all, but for the turns they don't use a double blaze for the most part. They use these arrows, which are nice. They're pretty accurate. This trail is pretty popular in Pennsylvania, actually. A lot of people hike this trail. There's 2 shelters on this trail, Doe Run and something else. I can't remember their name. Never can remember that one. And they're spaced, I think it's 4 miles or something like that from each end. But anyway, a lot of people hike this because it's 27-ish miles. And if you're a beginner, you can do it in 3 days, and it's a loop, which is another, positive. So, yeah, if you haven't done this trail, it is a short one, but it is definitely worth doing. I mean, this is my 3rd time doing it. Been passing quite a few campsites. This one normally, I guess, would have water, but the creek behind it looks really dry. I'm about 6-ish miles in, and I do believe I've been walking along Doe Run for about the last mile or so, but this is the first part where you could walk down if you need water. But if you go down a little further, which is where I'm going, you'll kind of cross the stream. So from the beginning, from going counterclockwise from the trailhead, not counting that seasonal water source, that was like a half a mile in. So 6 miles in is your first. Everything else is dry, at least right now in mid-August. Very nice little campsite here with a feeder creek going into, I think it's Doe Run, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to eat. It's about, I think it's about 12 o'clock, so I think it's time. About mile 7-ish, somewhere around there for the day. I'm done eating, it's time to get moving, so I'm going to chug some water, I'm going to fill up. All right, I was mistaken. It's not, I just wasn't at Doe Run. That was Rock Run. I actually just looked at the map just to kind of see a better bearing on where I'm at. So the next stop is Doe Run, and that's where the Doe Run shelter is. And that's, I didn't really check the mileage, probably 5 miles, 5, maybe less. And then after that, it's Sullivan Mountain. So I pulled the weather down from the inReach a little bit ago, and it showed that in the next so many hours it was like maybe a 10-15% chance of rain. But now I'm hearing a lot of thunder over there way off in the distance. So there's a storm. I don't know if it's coming my way or what, but I don't have signal to get on my phone to check the Doppler to see what direction this storm's going. But I kind of expected there to be rain, and I've never done this trail without getting soaked. This is the last time I came here. There's a turnoff with a yellow arrow, and I was just cruising through and missed it. But very beautiful view. And when I came through here with Lance in 2019, none of this underbrush was here, and you could just see everywhere. It was beautiful, but this is still pretty beautiful view. All right, here we are, Doe Run Shelter, and this is one of 2 shelters on this trail, and they're really nice shelters, but they are not a shelter area. Oh, by the way, the creek, the water source for this shelter, which the other one does not have one, it's up on the top of a ridge. It's normally a big running stream, but it's bone dry right now because of the drought. But this is not a shelter area, and if you notice, you can see all the rocks, the ground. There may be 1 spot or 2 to put a tent. You can certainly find some spots for hammocks, but this is not a shelter area. This is designed for you to stay in the shelter. So I'm going to sit here for a couple minutes and have some water and take a little bit of a break and listen for the thunder. The one thing I just realized since I got to the shelter was my original plan for this trip was I was going to go clockwise. Oh, it's actually starting to rain, so I made it to the shelter just in time. I may sit here and try to wait out some of the rain. But anyway, I originally planned for this trip to go clockwise, so I looked at my notes and to see where campsites were and that kind of stuff. And that's kind of how I made my plan. And this was spur of the moment, so I don't really like to plan trips. And this morning I just looked at my notes and figured where I'd camp kind of thing, not really planning. But since I got here and like a dummy, just saw an orange blaze and started walking and went the wrong way, I need to relook at my notes again and just, it's 2 o'clock now. I think I'm in around mile, I don't know, 10 or 11 or something. I don't even know. I didn't even look. I forgot my paper maps. That's how spur of the moment this was. But, so I'll just sit here for a little bit. Maybe the rain will pass. Maybe I'll get dumped on. I don't know. And then we'll see how far I want to get. All right, I sat long enough. The rain kind of rained a little bit. Then it kind of stopped. So, I don't know. The clouds kind of look broken up. And I'm just going to keep going. If it starts raining, I'll just, put on my sweat gear, my sweatsuit. But I looked at my notes and basically, according to the notes, I'm about 10.5-ish miles right now. I looked at the map, the actual map, the picture of a map. And this is about 10.5 miles in from the trailhead going counterclockwise. So 5 point some odd miles from here, I have on my notes, it says that at mile 15 point something, there is a great site with water. We'll see. The next one after that is I think it's the best site on this trail, and that's where the big creek you have to cross, where it's really, really deep. Well, it's really, really deep in the spring, and pretty dangerous too, and no bridge across. So you're wading in usually, up over your waist to get across, and it's fast-moving water. But I would like not to get wet before, right before I get to camp. So, that's ideally where I wanted to go, is between, around 17-ish miles today. But if I get to 15, I really like that spot. I might just stay there. Now, if it does start raining and I get soaked, then screw it. I'm just going through the creek, and I'll go to that really, really nice camp spot. So the rain's not supposed to last real long anyway. It's supposed to be, passing showers, thunderstorms, and then it's supposed to clear up, by 7, the sun's supposed to be out again. So we'll see how far I can get. It's raining again. It just keeps raining off and on, and it'll rain for a little bit, and then all of a sudden it'll start pouring, and then it stops. So I haven't put my sweatsuit back on yet. I did have it on once because it was raining, but then a couple minutes later it stopped. So hopefully there's some blue sky coming, so hopefully it just kind of clears off. All right, I'm pretty sure this is mile like 15 or something. Pleasant View or Pleasant Stream or something like that. I'm gonna keep on going. I know mile 17, 2 more miles, there's another spot right by that creek, and it's only 5 o'clock, so probably get there in another hour. I just passed another hiker. He said there are people camping there, so I don't know. We'll see if there's another spot. If not, I'll just move on a little bit, fill it with water, and move on. So the good news is he said he got across that creek and he was dry, so it wasn't real deep. So I'm going to keep on going. I hope this, doesn't turn into a day hike, but we'll see. See, here's one of the reasons I didn't want to camp there. You can see it and see the blazes. The trail, it's the campsite is the trail, and I didn't really want to camp on the trail. So plus that's not really the best campsite, so I'm just going to keep going. I made it to mile 17-ish, which is roughly mile, I think it's like 17 and a half or 11 and a half coming from the other way. And there was a bunch of people there, so I can't camp there. But the creek itself was really low. I just walked across the rocks. Didn't have to wade through waist deep water like I did last time. So I have about, I would say about 10 miles left for the trail. Most likely I'm probably just going to do this as a day hike. That'll give me a 28-mile day. Just chalk it up as a nice training hike to get back into shape from being off of hiking for 2 months. So that'll be worth it. All right, we are at, I think it's Sharp Top Vista, and check out what is here. Golden ticket. I'm gonna sit here and eat, and I'm just gonna stare out at this vista. This is the best vista on this trail. This is beautiful. Check it out. On the menu for tonight is Cajun style jambalaya from Next Mile Meals. So here is Sprout Point Vista. It's a very nice vista, and there is a shelter there, but I saw headlamps, so I'm gonna keep on going. I'm not gonna go back. I made it back to the car. It's 10 o'clock, so started at 9:30, so that took me about 12 and a half hours. So that's not too bad, 28 miles, especially without hiking for 2 months. So I'm thinking that's pretty good. I feel really good. And, you know, I just realized, too, on this trip that in a couple weeks, I'm turning 50. So I think that's pretty good today. I'm going to end it here. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.